Quick question and be honest. How many times in the last hour or so have you picked your phone up? Not to call someone or not to answer a call, but you simply picked your phone up, open an app, scroll through it, put it back down. On the surface, distraction seems pretty obvious, right? It's the phone, social media, Netflix, video games, or someone at work who just can't stop talking about their weekend. And yeah, we live in a world where distraction is optimized. Entire teams of engineers, psychologists, and designers are paid millions to make sure you can't look away from a screen. So it's easy to point the finger at all of that. But here's the thing, humans were getting distracted long before smartphones existed, long before the internet, and long before the Netflix. To give you a few examples, the folks who would binge read books, magazines, or the daily newspaper, the waiting rooms in the doctor's place would have National Geographic magazines, which would be easy to get to and, just stay distracted until your turn comes. And if you are old enough, you might remember this, but there used to be people who would talk endlessly over the landline phones. So, what if the gadgets aren't actually the problem? What if you are the problem? And I'm not saying it in a way to point a finger and, say that you're broken, but I'm saying it in a way that there might be something deeper going on, that's why you're the problem. And that needs to be addressed. I want you to think about something right now. Is there one thing, just one, in your life that's out of balance? Something you know you need to deal with, but you keep pushing it off. Maybe it's a difficult conversation you have been avoiding, or a relationship that's been strained, or a long to-do list you keep rolling over to tomorrow, or even a goal you said you would start, but you haven't. You got the gist, right? So hold that thought for a second. And now, answer what's something you have been doing way too much of it. So much so that you know it isn't serving you. It could be scrolling social media, binge watching shows until 1 a.m., or shopping online for things you don't even need, or eating out too much or too frequently, or just playing video games right after your work or school. And here's where it gets real. Whatever you thought of in the first question, you're numbing that pain with whatever came up in the second question. You following me? The distraction isn't random. I hate to say it, but it's a coping mechanism in a way. To avoid the pain of what you don't want to face, you are chasing the pleasure of something that gives you instant relief. And that instant relief is seeking cheap dopamine via different vehicles. Because it's fast and easy and not much effort is required. And that's the loop, and most people never even see it, unfortunately. Now, let me get little personal because I have been in this loop too. For a long time, I struggled with a few internal triggers that kept pulling me off track. Here's an example. I hate talking about what I'm working on before I have results to show. I would rather work in silence and let the outcomes speak. But here's what I didn't realize. That mindset sometimes turned into hiding, and hiding created its own anxiety. Well, here's another example. I constantly felt like time was running out, like there was too much to do and never enough hours in a day. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. But anyway, instead of fixing that, I would get overwhelmed. And when I got overwhelmed, I would scroll or do something else, anything else other than actual work. Maybe this is going to be the last example. I didn't have clarity on what to do, and on any given evening, I had no idea what I was actually supposed to be doing. So when that happened, I just drifted, and drifting always led me somewhere I didn't intend to go. And here's the real kicker though. These aren't unique to me. Like I said earlier, some of you could easily relate to me in one or two of the examples I gave you. When you don't deal with your inner imbalances, your brain develops what I call a mental blockade, the kind of tunnel vision that makes the real work feel impossible and the distraction feel necessary. And then this is the part that stings. You blame everything outside of you for why you can't focus.
Think about what that actually costs you.
Every time you give in to that cheap dopamine hit instead of doing the real work, you're not just losing an hour, you are reinforcing the habit. You're training your brain that avoidance is safe, that the discomfort isn't worth facing. And day after day, that compounds. The opposite of distraction isn't discipline, it's called traction. And it basically means actions that move you towards something you actually want. And when you are stuck in the distraction loop, you don't just lose time, you lose momentum, lose identity, you lose the version of yourself you're trying to become. The external triggers, the phone, the donuts someone left on the counter, the Netflix autoplay, they're only as powerful as you let them be. The real enemy is inside.
So, what do you actually do about it?
I'm going to share 3 steps with you that I've used myself. I created myself, I've used myself, in the hopes that it will help you as well. And if it doesn't help you, to a bare minimum, I hope you'll get a sense of direction on what to do next. Here's step 1. Set aside 30 minutes and do a real audit. A real intentional sit down where you ask yourself, what areas of my life feel off? What am I avoiding? You already know the answers, you just haven't made yourself look at them yet. The step 2 would be go deeper on the emotion. When you think about those unresolved things, what do you feel? Anger or guilt or worry or fear, what emotion do you feel? And now ask, why is this emotion coming up? Is it something I need to act on, or is it something I need to let go of? If there's a person involved, is there a conflict? And if there is a conflict, is this a real conflict? Or has your mind been running a story on loop since one awkward interaction? Sometimes the fix is a conversation, while other times it's just a perspective, but both require you to actually look at it. And step 3, you have to catch yourself in the act. When you notice yourself drifting, reaching for a phone or opening a tab you don't need, etc., just pause. That's trigger firing. Just name it as a trigger, and ask yourself, what am I avoiding right now? Then make the conscious choice to return to traction. And this isn't about being perfect, it's about being aware, and awareness over time changes everything.
Here's what I want you to take away from this. You are not a distracted person. You are someone with an unresolved tension, and distraction has been your go-to way of managing it.
That's actually a great news, because unresolved tension can be worked through, triggers can be identified, and patterns can be broken. Think of it like a zoom lens. Sometimes you need to zoom in, lock onto one thing, one trigger, one area of improvement. And sometimes you need to zoom out to see the bigger picture of where you are headed and why the work matters. As you start doing this, slowly and imperfectly, one trigger at a time, you will look back after 6 months and be shocked at how far you have come. And that's not because you changed everything overnight, but you made small shifts done consistently, which will compound.
So here's this week's challenge for you.
Identify one internal trigger
Just one thing you have been avoiding or an area of your life that feels unresolved. Write it down, sit with it, and ask yourself, what small step can I take toward dealing with it instead of distracting myself from it? That's it. Start there. And if this video gave you something to think about, drop it in the comments. What is one distraction you're working on overcoming? I would love to hear. Like if you found some value here. If you're new, subscribe. We're building something real here, one video at a time, and I'll see you on my next one.